So I want to talk about back handsprings, and I made a video on how to spot back handsprings, talking about starting from a pike position and then throwing from that pike position. I eliminated the sit, fall, jump, and I get a lot of comments, enough comments about people asking and questioning why I would even use this methodology and I wouldn't use the sit, fall, jump. And so I'm going to just be abrasive and controversial and really, get people moving a little bit in their minds and just say the sit, fall, jump is a waste of time. It's unproductive. It's unbeneficial for many, many reasons. Does it work? And can you learn a back handspring using a sit, fall, jump? Absolutely, you can. You can learn lots of things. I mean, we have backyard gymnasts all the time who teach themselves wonderful skills on their trampolines in their backyards. It does not mean that it actually is going to have a long-term future down the road. And so the sit, fall, jump is actually not my go-to. I would actually, anytime I see a coach teach sit, fall, jump, I just roll my eyes in my mind and just think how dumb it is, to be honest with you. I'm going to prove to you why it's dumb and why you shouldn't be doing it. But hey, keep doing it because you just want to confuse kids and struggle. So let's dive in if you haven't been poked enough to be squirming and be like, no, Raleigh, that's sit, fall, jump. It matters. I got to do it. Yeah, let's go. Let's have some fun today, okay? I'm just being abrasive because why else would you watch my videos? All right, here is my video on sit, fall, jump. Okay, so I have my athlete sitting in a position, she throws, and then it just throws right over to the back handspring. We'll just watch that one more time just so that you can kind of see. All right, so she's just in a pike stand. I'm saying this is the way that I would teach a back handspring spotted, and I'm going to take something through the process. They're going to fall, and then they're just going to throw into the back handspring. Now, why? I'm going to set it up for just the simplicity of this. There's way less coordination going on. This is going to outperform the sit, fall, jump in the sense of learning because all she has to do is worry about throwing. I'm also going to use the term hip action. She only needs to focus on the hip action with the throw and not the jump. And so I've eliminated the coordination already needed to learn, therefore simplifying learning, therefore learning can be done quicker because I have removed one step. Now you're going to go, well, that sit, fall, jump needs to happen. Why are you starting in a pike position with your chest at the ground? You're going to blah, 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 blah. Yes, you're right. All those things that you're thinking about are going to happen just like this little one. I want you to see this person. She made a great video on how to do a back handspring. I'm going to say that she's teaching it wrong, not because she knows this, but because, this is how it was taught to her. And so she thought it was correct. So look at the athlete's arms, look at their head position, and look at, she's jumping. Good job. Which direction is she traveling? Up. What is her hips doing? Nothing. What are her arms doing? Nothing. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But I want you to notice that she is focused on the jump. This child is focused on the jump. Hey, we need to jump. Remember to jump. How many times do you tell people to jump more? I'm just telling you it's not correct. Period. Full stop. Not correct. Okay? Can you learn doing things incorrectly? Yeah, we see it all the time. Should you? Not if you actually want to get to the top of the sport and actually understand this sport the way it was designed to be understood, which is through physics, and you actually have to contend with science. Okay, so, and I don't claim to be a scientist, but I'm smart enough to look at patterns. So that's what we're going to do, look at patterns. So this young lady is doing the jump. Everyone sees that, hopefully. This young lady is also doing it wrong. Look at extend knees and jump backwards. Really? That's what I got to do. Extend my knees and jump backwards. Look what she's doing. Where direction is she traveling? She's traveling up. Look where her chest is. Her legs are extended and her chest is up at a 45-degree angle. What are her arms doing? Nothing. Her arms are literally doing nothing. The coach, probably great person. Both of the coaches, probably great people. Have great intention. I'm going to show you that this is the reason why kids quit gymnastics. Because they just learn stuff wrong. They can't do anything with it. Slows down learning. When you slow down learning, skills then get sticky. The kids plateau because they can't get past certain steps because they learn things wrong. And so these two athletes are learning how to flip wrong. That's a very bold statement of you to say, Raleigh. Who are you to tell people that they're learning things wrong? Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Now here's the young little girl who's doing a back handspring, and I'm going to just show you, this is phenomenal. This is a young little girl. She's doing a back handspring. Just watch it for a second, okay? There's a back handspring. Well, we're going to watch this again, and let's just, here we go. She's going to do her back handspring again. Whoa, okay, not that one. We want to see this one. This one was impressive right there. That one is amazing. We're going to slow it down. Are you guys ready to dive in and get your minds exploded to realize how wrong you've been taught your whole lives? Sit, fall, jump. There's her sit, okay? There's her fall. There's her Wait a second. I didn't see a jump happen. Huh? Let's look at this for a second. Wait. That her legs are staying bent. I don't understand where's the jump? Where I'm looking for this jump someplace in this. She's doing a back handspring, and yet somehow she's not jump. How is this possible? How is it possible to do a back handspring and not have a jump? This you couldn't call that the jump. If you call that the jump, you're crazy. That's not a jump, okay? That's nothing there. So that's just hip extension. Wait, that's hip. Wait, didn't I say I mentioned hip extension? Didn't I? Did I say throw and hip extension? That's what she's doing. She's hip extending and throwing, and her legs are doing absolutely zero. And you're teaching kids how to jump. I don't know what you're doing with your life. Let's go into this further because you probably haven't thought about it as much as I've thought about it. Oh, this is Kenzo. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a pretty cool guy. I want you to watch something. I want you to watch the waistband of his shorts, okay? I want you to watch that as I frame by frame through this. Does his waistband travel very, like, look at his center. Does it travel up very high? No, not really, just a little bit. Let's see, we got to find some sort of thing to parallel this with. So it's kind of in line with this black shadowy on the cable right here, okay? So he's still pretty much in line with that black shadowy on the cable right there. And he's still pretty much in line with it. And oh, wait, what just happened? He just dropped. He went down. Why did he go down? Why did he go down? That's the question. That's the moneymaker. You all got, wait a second, and then he went up? Wait, do you see where the shadowy cable spot was right here? He went up into the shadowy cable spot. Did he ever get much higher than it? No, he didn't get higher than it. So did he jump? Did he jump? If he didn't go up, he just went back to the position he was already in. So he went down, but back to the neutral position. He didn't actually go higher. What is going on? This is crazy. Oh, look at this nice, massive pike down. You see that pike down? We're going to get into this pike down. And then look at this great throw. Look at pike down, throw. Do I see a jump happening? No, I don't see a jump happening. Oh, Raleigh, we're talking about back handsprings. No, you're talking about back handsprings. I'm talking about gymnastics. There's a difference between us. If you're having a conversation about back handspring, oh my goodness, I just noticed something. Where's his arm position? Let's go back to this little, where's his arm position and where's her arm position? So you're telling me Kenzo knows how to lift his arms up before he's even engaged his legs, and she's got straight legs and her arms in the wrong spot. And you're telling me you're teaching gymnastics correctly? You're not. You're not teaching for the future. Because you don't even know where the future's going. You haven't even watched these videos, have you? That's the problem. Arms are up, knees are bent. He's dropping himself. He's not jumping, he's dropping himself. Why would he do that? I don't want to answer that right now. I'm going to talk about it later. Let's go to this video. Oh, this is dope. Power tumblers. Love power tumblers. They are the epitome of awesome. Look at the direction this guy's going. Like, look at where he's going. Just into the ground forwards. He's like, I like forwards and I like going into the ground. Yep, okay. Let's see what he does. What the heck is going on? This guy is piking like no other. He's got his chest in the down position. His arms are dropped, and then boom, he just hip extends and throws. Look how hard he throws his chest. He hasn't even done anything with his legs yet. He just kept them straight, basically. And then, cool. Okay, here's the fun spot. So he's going to land, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to jump into, no, he's not jumping. Wait, what? He's just falling into it? Wait, why is he just falling? Wait, I have to go back a couple steps to just make sure that he's just falling. Wait, he's just falling and throwing his hips open and his head into the ground. What happened to his legs? I'm sure there's a jump in here somewhere. There's got to be a jump in here somewhere. Isn't there a jump in here somewhere? He falls and then, nope, he just dumps his chest into the ground. Just dumped his chest and opened his hips. Why would he do that? You know what I love about power tumblers is I love what they do for their dismount right there, right before the dismount happens. Right here. Look how low his head is into the ground. That is cool. Why would you be so low? What is he doing here? Wait a second. He bent his knees now. Why did he bend his knees? Oh, interesting. Why did he bend his knees, I wonder? I'm not going to answer it for you. I'm going to let you think about what that knee bend is actually doing. You're thinking jump. No, you're wrong. It's not for jumping. But hey, here's a 9-9. This girl scored a 9-9 at level 3. Look at what her arms are doing. Look at where her arms are. Don't her arms go up by her head, kind of like Kenzo was a second ago. Where do we have Kenzo at? Was he someplace around here? Oh, there he is with his arms up. And this girl scored a 9.9. Does it look like her knees are set up in a position to jump? That would be the worst jumping position ever. Her knees are pushing forwards. Why the heck are her knees pushing forwards? You know, I used to tell people that you shouldn't have your knees pushing forwards because you'd undercut. Yeah, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was talking about. You shouldn't have your knees pushing forwards, but that's not really what's happening here. You just don't know what's happening. When she throws, has she jumped yet? Like, she's at a 45-degree angle. So 45-degree angle, arms are up by her ears. Let's go look at this girl. 45-degree angle, no arms up by her ears. Fully extended legs. And this young lady's got a 9.9 on floor. I want this to sit in for a second, you guys. If you watch my channel and you think I'm a little full of crap, and you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You're right, I don't. I know nothing. I just watch videos and I study them and I wonder, how do you get a 9.9 and how do you look like that? And how do you make a video on how to teach a back handspring and you do this? And how does this girl then do a back handspring when she's not doing what you're teaching because she's literally not jumping? And then you have this kid doing that and you have this guy over here, wherever he is, over here doing this, and look at him. Look at him. He's throwing his body backwards. His hips have not risen at all. Very, very little. And let's see the height of his hips again only went back to the same position they already were at the same height. They didn't jump. He didn't jump. He just went back into position. He dropped, but didn't jump into anything higher. Well, let's look at this one. Oh, there's a nice knee bend. Oh, there's a nice chest throw. Look at where the arms are. Again, this is not what sit, fall, jump teaches you. Sit, fall, jump does not teach you this. Sit, okay, I got that. Fall, yeah, I got that. Jump. Where's the frickin' throw? Where is it? Where's the throw? It doesn't exist in sit, fall, jump. Does not exist. And you don't understand how important the throw is. Most of you don't. And I'll be gentle with those of you that have not actually coached high-level gymnastics. I've done a couple athletes, high level. Not a lot, but enough. Studied enough. If you've not taught double pikes and double layouts, you don't understand the importance of throw. Throw is everything. You know, I used to think I was pretty cool when I was teaching double tucks, double back tuck. And I was like, man, I'm really cool. I really made it as a coach, double back tuck. And I'd hear the word set all the time. And then you get the kids who pulled their knees early and then they'd stall their double tucks. And it was all about the set and all about the set and all about the set. And then I went to an elite camp where you pay money and you take your kid and they're like, I want to be an elite level gymnast. And so you go hang out with a bunch of other kids who are level 10s and really good. And I was like, holy crap, these people don't like tucks. They just like pikes. Because they're teaching double layouts. Because they're like middle finger to tucks. Why the heck do I care about a tuck? Did you know if you want to twist a tuck, it's not even really like tucked the way you think it is? You want to go to double layouts. That's where like the big dogs are actually playing. You know what the big dogs need to do a double layout? Jump? Please. They ain't jumping. I can tell you that. Alright, I'm not answering those questions for you. Here's what this girl got. She got a 9.1. Wait, what's happening to her? Oh, she's actually jumping a little bit too much. She's got more jump. See how her knees are bent? She's going actually up. Yeah, so she went a little high. Her knees are all bent and sloppy, whatever. She's almost there. She hasn't figured it all out. Okay, let's see what Simone Biles doing a double layout dismount off the beam. But you know what, Raleigh? Wait, she has one leg that is straight. Why would she do that? Why would she have one leg straight and not both legs bent? I mean, if I'm going to sit, fall, jump, wouldn't I want both legs bent? That's what I'm thinking. Nope, she wants one leg bent and one leg straight. Oh, because that's her back handspring with one leg that stays straight. Okay, there's the both legs. Wait a second. That's how tall she is. Then she bends her legs and she falls. Then she throws. How much higher? Did she actually get very high? Wait, that's her. So her hips were somewhere a little bit higher than this line right here. And then let's see where she jumps back to. Oh, just like, 2 inches higher? Oh man, that jump really made everything happen for her. You know what? I think it's the jump. Wait a second. There's this pike down. This arms are down. This pikey position. I wanted you to go back to this. Very similar to the start position I had my athlete go into, isn't it? It's very similar. And when I take you through my video that I made about the throw, look at, she's throwing and it's just boop. Now, did the hips rise? Yeah, they did. But did they rise because I threw or because I jumped? I don't know. I have no idea. I do know, but these are things for you to think about, not for me to have to answer every second. Look at the throw. Look at the feet have barely contacted, and she's already initiating throw. That's the amount of legs she gets. Look how much her chest is working. Parallel to the floor, back into this crazy amount of throw. She is throwing a lot. Oh, you don't believe me. Now let's just watch the fun. Okay, cool. Good job. All right. Oh, what's happening here? This is her round off. Okay? She bends her knees and throws. Now you're going to say, Raleigh, that's the jump. That's not a jump. It's not a jump. Not like you think it's a jump. Because notice the direction of travel and the height that comes out of it. It's not really going that high. It's an extension. So we have to understand why this is even happening in the first place. Okay? But I want you to understand something even more. I want you to see when her feet make contact with the floor, okay, and she goes to throw, okay, feet are on the floor, now they're leaving. Her chest, her torso has traveled 90 degrees. Look at how far her hips have traveled. Nothing at all. So her legs have stopped, basically, have barely started, had killed rotation, essentially, in her legs, and her torso is rotating 90 degrees. Does that sound like a jump is doing the work or the throw is doing the work? I'm going to go vote on throw. I'm going to vote throwing is doing the work and jumping is doing very little. Yeah. Okay. We need to understand the importance of this. Now, this young lady, she is doing a standing back tuck, and this is what I'm going to point out on why jumping actually just is not doing what you think it's doing. Let's just watch it. The guy who filmed this put it in slow motion. He's saying words. I don't know what they are. They're probably very important. We should probably listen to them, but he's on mute. Okay, here we go. Arm swing, chest, and okay, got the extension. Make sure you got that. Yep. I'm being a little bit obnoxious for a reason because I just know everyone loves a little bit of obnoxiousness, don't they? Okay, so I'll tone it down a bit. Look at where her hips are. Okay, and let's see what her jump looks like. Okay, so she's got a jump. She does jump. There's something going on with the jump. I'm changing. Here we go. Here's the jump. She starts pulling her knees. So how did she really get a jump? I mean, her legs they never even fully extended. But that's why tucks are kind of a problem. So she goes to pull her knees. Okay, and do you see how this kind of crashes on herself? What would you tell the person to be able to get that better? You tell them to jump more. Oh, that jump is really good. You got to jump more. You jumped more, you get it. I don't think the jump's going to solve that problem. And this is the problem with sit, fall, jump, is you're actually teaching people how to flip wrong. You're teaching them to feel the wrong things. And so this is the reason why sit, fall, jump is not a very effective way. This young lady is doing a standing back tuck. I want you to see how tall she is. So here's her height. Okay, let's look at this. Height is, I don't know, whatever. I'll put my cursor right here. So this is where her hip height is. Okay, and then she's going to do her standing back tuck. So she's going to sit. She's going to jump. Okay, and that's how high she gets. Then she's pulling her knees. I don't know if she really, okay, she doesn't fully extend her legs. They're not fully extended. She just starts to pull her knees early. And then I want you to notice, man, it didn't finish rotation. She had good height, but why didn't it complete rotation? More jump. That would be it. More set. That would be it. If we only set more, we would get it. I'm telling you guys, gymnastics is so easy, but everyone's been like, you've been taught words literally are just not very effective. They're just not beneficial words. We're going to watch this young lady do something. I want you to see, okay, let's look at where her well, we don't really know her height is, but we'll see what her jump looks like. Does she look like she jumps much higher than the girl who did a standing back tuck? Nope, not much. And yet she does a standing back pike and she lands it. Is it the jump that did the work for her? No, it was the throw. It was the throw. Look at how much chest down she has. Look at where her arms are behind her and above her. And she is throwing her arms, her chest, and then she's pulling. She's not even getting much jump because she starts pulling her legs even early. She doesn't even get her hips fully extended open. Starts pulling her legs even early. And I would say that that's not the best picture of a standing back pike, but I want you to see what's happening here. Here's a gentleman. Look what he does. So he bends his knees. He bends his knees to drop down, okay? I just want you to see how he's throwing. Look at how low the first flip is, how low it is. and look how hard he is driving his head into the ground and his torso into the ground. His legs are still going vertical. His legs are still rising as he's throwing his chest and torso down. It's not his legs that are doing the work. It's his upper body that's doing the work. He is dropping his center of mass down so that he can keep throwing. Okay? No, Raleigh, that's not true. Well, let's see what a side aerial looks like. She does a side aerial, okay? And I want you to notice if she goes up very much. Like, look at this. Like, I don't think we're going to see her go up. Look at the extension. That's how tall she is, just standing on one leg. So she's like level with this line in the window, okay? And then she goes a smidge higher than it. Do you think it's the jump that's making the skill happen? No, it's not the jump that's making the skill happen. It's this giant long leg over here and her ability to drop her chest. It's the rotation, it's the throwing action that's making the flip work, not the jumping action. But we're still hung up on jumps, aren't we? We gotta jump. It's just so important that we jump. Check this girl out. She's going to drop her center of mass. So she's bending her knee to lower herself. And there's a reason why you do that. It's so you can rotate faster, okay? Then she pushes through the extension. This is so that she can generate force. Remember, big objects that rotate slowly, but have a lot of force. The objects that rotate closer to the center of mass are not going to have as much force, but they're going to increase speed. And so if I want to increase speed, I have to get closer to my center. And then when I want to increase force, I get further away from my center. That's when your force is going to increase. And so that is why the knee bend is happening. Again, I'm going to say this slower. The knee is bending so that she is getting closer to her center of mass. She's taking all of her mass and bringing it closer to the center, which increases speed. When speed is increased, you then get to where you want to be sooner. That's why we drive faster. She's extending because now she needs force. Well, she wants extension. She wants to send her center of her mass away from the center, because it's at the vertical spot. So she's going to extend it, add more force into the system so she can conserve energy. She doesn't actually go anywhere. Look where her torso is. She's not going anywhere. She's just changing the position of her center of mass so that she can basically make everything chill. When a girl learns side aerial, how often do you see somebody run into it and jump into it and it still doesn't work? Still doesn't work because they don't know how to increase the speed necessary and move the body away from the center to generate the force necessary at the right timing to basically make a side aerial happen from a stand. It's not complicated stuff. I think there's a couple, yeah, this girl, watch her. Okay, so we've got a front aerial. We got a knee bent so that the chest can get into the center. We can increase speed. Does she really jump at all? No. Her hips stayed pretty much flat the entire time. This is all throw action, kicking action. This is not jumping action that's creating rotation. And so when we teach a person to sit, fall, jump, and we see the jump being the key factor of rotation, we're literally teaching rotation wrong. People are not rotating correctly. Okay, let's watch Simone because she's an inspiration. Here we go. Boopity boop, boopity boop. Okay, let's slow that down. Okay, let's slow it down. So let's look at this. She's going to go. Now, I want you to see something. Her leg is straight. Leg is straight. Actually, you want to back this up even further. Well, no, we'll start here. Her leg is straight. Look how much arm swing she's giving herself. Is that arm swing for the jump? No, it's for the throw. She's throwing backwards and down. Notice the fall. She's trying to get herself to go down and be closer to the ground so that when she extends the body, it does not go up too high. It used to be very common and popular to go much higher in your back handspring. Nastia Lukin did a very beautiful back handspring, but height kind of creates a lot of fall. Okay, let's look how this leg comes down. Straight. Why isn't she bending it? If she needs to jump, why is she keeping it straight? Because she's not trying to drop right here. She's creating rotation. She's staying tall as long as possible on that leg. And then as her center of mass changes position, she's dropping it into the ground so she can throw. Notice how the arms are dropping and then her shoulders are throwing and hips. Okay? You say, Raleigh, no, she's jumping. Really? Then why is one leg straight and one leg still bent? If the jump mattered so much, why would both legs not be doing the work? Why would one leg be doing the work? So you're telling me she's jumping off of one leg It's one leg that's doing all the work. She doesn't need the other leg. She's that strong. It's the jump. It's all the jump, Raleigh. It's got to be the jump. No, it's the throw. You're wrong. In fact, that leg is chilling so much that it's still bent slightly. Her back leg that she was jumping off of is still slightly bent because she didn't use it. If she was jumping off of it, it would have pushed straight. It didn't push to straight. It pushed to staying still bent because she didn't actually jump through it. She threw her torso, her head, her shoulders, her hands, her hips. She threw the body into the position. No, Raleigh, that's not possibly true. Really, look at the position she's in. She's in a piked position with her arms down, piked, okay? And then look at the throw that's happening. Look how much throw is happening. This is no jump. She's not even jumping. Her leg is straight. If anything, she's sitting. She's going down as she's throwing. So she's generating as much acceleration through dropping her center of mass and throwing to accelerate and create speed. Okay, because when you when you shrink your shape, your center of mass, everything gets closer to the center, so it will accelerate in rotation. Then she is throwing, and again, look at, there's the throw. She leaves the ground. This is not doing much of anything. She's already left the ground, so she's jumping off of one leg. Which one leg is she jumping off of? She's jumping off of one leg, then the other leg? No, it's an extension of the legs. The legs are extending. You're thinking it's a jump. It's not like that. Athletes don't have to think about jump. They think about throw. The more they think about throw, the bigger and badder they get. That's just as simple as that. Let's look at the great Shawn Johnson. I wanted you to see this because this was like the best setup right here. Like, don't have your chest to the ground and don't put your arms too far behind you. That'll really mess up your jump. You know, because the timing's always off. Like the kids who do like the really big arm swings, their timing's always off with their jump because their jump goes the wrong direction. They can't ever get fast enough. And yet here we have Shawn Johnson be like, I'm going to throw my arms ridiculously fast, so I'm going to put them as far behind me as possible. I'm going to drop my chest so I can get as much chest throw and arm throw. Yes, it's got to be the jump that's happening. No, she's dropping her center of mass so she can accelerate the throw. Does she even go that high? No, look at how high her hips rise. This is not jumping. This is throwing, okay? And then, wait, what is she doing? Oh, she drops it again. Look how small she gets, brings her mass into its center so it rotates around quicker because that's how things speed up. And then she lands, staying piked, and then bam, throws again. Is she jumping? Her knees are not even activated. Look how far she's thrown her body. She has gone from this position right here, okay, chest there, all the way to here, and her knees haven't even done anything yet. And last time I checked, when you jump, your hips, knees, and ankles are supposed to work together. That's what jumping is supposed to do. You're supposed to actually have a triple extension where your hips, ankles, and knees are working together. How can I use the word jump when I teach somebody how to jump and do hip, ankles, and knees, triple extension jumping, and then call that a jump where your knees are not activated and your ankles are not activated, but your hips are? The kinetic chain would not be working properly. I don't know how you would call this a jump. It's not a jump. But let's just keep calling it that. Look at this nice pike down. Pike down, get small, get back to your center, throw. Look at the amount of throw that's happening through the chest and the head and the shoulders because she's doing a back freaking layout, you guys. A layout on the beam. But I'm the crazy person for making this video and telling you that this is how you should start thinking about gymnastics because this is the future. And a lot of people go, I don't understand, Raleigh. This doesn't make any sense. Where's the sit, fall, jump? Do you not see the similarity of everything I've just shown you? Do you not understand the, let's see, I don't even know what else I have in my video here. I haven't watched it for a very long time. Let's see what we got. Okay, do you not see the similarity of there's a fall and a throw action? Well, that's pretty good, bent elbows. It's fall. It's fall. Now, I'm not teaching her to fall by bending her knees. I'm just teaching her to fall by the simplest way. Keep your legs straight because the knee bend doesn't matter. I don't care if her center of mass lowers that much. I don't need it to lower that much, not like the other athletes did where they bent their knees and they needed to keep their center of mass down. We're doing this from a stand. So there's not a lot of energy in the system. So we can do it from straight legs. She doesn't have to think about her legs because she can literally flip without having to think about her legs and only think about her hands, her chest, and her shoulders. Okay, that's all she has to think about. So she can lean, fall, and then boop, look how much throw she has. The legs are set up in the right spot, and boom. Okay, that's what we've been watching the entire time. A little bit too much lean, I would say. I would tone down the lean on that. that one. I don't think that's the best example, but you know what? We will go with it. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, there's a slight knee bend. Cool. Okay, yeah, you can put the knee bend in it. Yeah, if you want to. But I mean, that's not. The other beautiful thing is look how simple that is to spot. Like I can carry pretty much any person through this spotting position. I'm clearly talking about watching your feet and going through spotting, but I just want you to see. Look how simple this is to spot right here. Look at that. There's no complication. You just hold the person exactly where they are, and they just throw open to that open position, and bam, the legs just follow. And we don't have to get super carried away or complicated through any of this. It's that simple. That's the fall you want. The sit fall, you don't need the sit. You just need fall. The sit is being used for a different purpose, to drop your center of mass because you're accelerating quickly. Okay, so all you need is the fall. You don't need to bend the knees. And you need the athlete to be as successful as possible. This is how you're going to find, you go spot this and figure out how to spot this and go do this with your athletes, and notice how easy it is for them to just throw, literally take away the whole thinking of the timing. And all they have to do is think about falling. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I hope you learned something. You can still teach gymnastics however you want to. You can still use a sit fall. It's a very effective method. Lots of people have learned standing back handspring through the sit fall method. I just got tired of saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then I watched some videos of smarter people than me, and this is actually how they taught the back handspring. This isn't even my idea. It's not even mine. No, I actually used it from somebody else who was smarter than me and had higher level athletes and worked with much more kids than I've ever worked with at the highest level. And this is what they were teaching. In fact, they were teaching this stuff at the camps that you're taking, like if you're taking your level 9 or 10 to a camp to, like, you know, do high level gymnastics, this is what they would be teaching, like straight legged back handsprings, fall, action, throw. Don't worry about the legs. Accelerate, and throw faster. Back whips on tumble track is all about the acceleration and the throw. That's it. And the fall, the going down into the ground is merely so that you can keep your center of mass is parallel to the floor as possible. You don't want this like up down type of effect. And that's what jumping does. It raises. We don't want to raise the center of mass higher than basically that neutral position. We can drop our center of mass so that we can get closer to it. So we're shrinking ourselves to get closer to our center of mass so we can rotate faster, but then we got to get back into position so that the acceleration, the momentum is traveling horizontally as efficiently as possible. And so that's where you see these drops happening, but it's not jumping. It's not jumping, it's extending back into position. It's not jumping. And the throw is creating some lift. Yes, the throw will create lift, but through the throw and the extension, the lift is very minimal. And even at the highest level skills, when you see that the height of the skill is rising, you're going to notice that the throw is still the same. It's just the angle of the takeoff position. It's not that they jump higher. They literally just change the angle of attack. In fact, we'll just go back to this real fast because I want you to see angle of attack so that you can understand. Look at, it's the exact same throw. It's the angle of attack that she's doing. She's throwing into the skill. Her angle has shifted. And so when you go to teach jumping, sit fall jumping to create rotation, standing back tucks and standing back handsprings just mess kids up because they think that's how rotation is created. And you take a person from a standing back tuck and you try to teach them how to do standing back pikes, it doesn't make any sense to them. Like, how do I do it? How do I keep my legs straight? I'm supposed to do a standing back pike. How do I keep my legs straight? I don't know how to do that. And it's like, of course you don't know how to do that because you've been taught that jump is how you rotate. Jump is not how you rotate. Throw and hip extension is how you create rotation. And when you understand that, you become very proficient on trampoline, on tumble track, on floor, on bars, on vault, on beam, because it's the same thing across all events. When you teach sit, fall, jump as your rotation, as the mechanism that generates rotation, sit, fall, jump, it just doesn't cross over to the events and it doesn't translate into the future. So you plateau and you get stuck. And you wonder why your back handspring is going high. Did you know that the reason why athletes get scared of back tumbling is because they're afraid to go down? They're afraid to go down. The jump teaches them to go up, and yet to accelerate, you need to go down. That's why they get afraid. They don't want to go down. They want to go up because they're comfortable with the jumping. They want to keep their head above their body. And when they have to go down, they have to send their head into the ground. It's a scary place to go. And so the sit, fall, jump, this idea of jumping is not developing, throw your head into the ground as hard as you possibly can and watch how it pulls the rest of your body over. You go to a trampoline and you just stand there with straight legs. If you know how to back handspring, just go to a trampoline, keep your legs locked out, and just throw it into the back handspring. And notice, oh my goodness, the back handspring happens. I didn't even have to use my legs. You're right. You can just throw a back handspring on a trampoline with no jump. So if that's the case, how much easier would it be to teach if we just eliminated the coordination problem, the conversation, when it didn't even need to exist in the first place? Will an athlete naturally bend their legs would be the concern. Well, what happens when a person does a round off back handspring and they never bend? They just naturally do it because they're going to do whatever it takes to fall. The knee bend does not have to be perfect. They're just doing whatever it takes to fall because they know that fall has to happen for throw to happen. So you don't have to talk about the knee bend. Round off back handspring is just fall. Fall. I don't care how you fall. Bend your knees, fall more. It doesn't matter. Fall, throw, fall, throw, fall, throw. You don't need the sit. You don't need the jump. You just need fall, throw. And when you understand that, all the pieces start to come together. So leave a comment. Tell me how much you're like, I think this is stupid, Raleigh. You don't know what you're talking about. Or tell me if you learned something, because maybe you did. But again, my channel, I'm trying to build it and grow it. And so I'm going to be, making videos, and please leave a comment. Let me know how it's going, what your thoughts are, and maybe I'll make another commented video on somebody else's thing. This was based off of somebody leaving a comment on my channel, and I was like, man, I need to talk about the subject. So bam, there you have it. Sit, fall, jump, back handspring, land. That's the reason why you want to eliminate it if you can. Is it necessary? Yeah, for a standing back handspring, you're going to have a bend. You're going to bend your knees. I get that. That's not the point. The point is the sit and the jump generating rotation for the back handspring? The answer is no. So I don't need to teach it from that perspective. Am I going to do it at some point from a standing perspective? Yes, I understand. But we need to understand that standing back handspring, it's like the most useless skill out of all the skills because it's not actually what we're trying to do. Is it very, very important? Yeah, it's very important, but it's useless in the sense that I don't go standing back handspring into a double layout. So my standing back handspring is not generating the acceleration. Standing back handspring is not I'm coming from a round off. Typically it's a round off back handspring, right? If I'm going to do standing back handspring, it's on beam and then I'm trying to connect it to another back handspring so I can get more energy. So it's really the second back handspring that matters, not the first. And so it's really, again, goes back into, well, what is the technique you're using for the second back handspring? And it's not sit, fall, jump. And so that's where these concepts, they're good, but they're not future thinking. They're not future driven. And that's where people plateau because they don't understand the shift that needs to take place inside their mind. And so they get hung up on things that really don't matter in the big grand picture of the sport. High level gymnastics, like teaching double layouts and double pikes, really not that hard. Like that was some of the easiest for me to get an athlete to do a double layout off a tumble track was far easier than for me to teach back whip connections down the tumble track, for me to teach back handspring connections down the tumble track. Those are much more complicated, much more time rhythm. And I could teach a double layout, no problem. Run as fast as you possibly can, round up back handspring, down into the tumble track as hard as you possibly can, throw as hard as you possibly can, double layout happens. It's not really, you're either going to do a double layout high and it's going to stall, you're going to do a double layout low and it's not going to complete, and you're going to have to find the timing to not over-rotate on the down. But once you figure that little nuance down, it's like, oh, double layout, simple. The problem with the double layout is most people don't want to run as fast as they possibly can, round off as fast as they possibly can, back handspring as fast as they possibly can. They don't want to go down to push the tumble track down, to drop and bottom out the surface, and they don't want to throw as hard as they possibly can. The reason why they don't want to do that is because they're not thinking rotation comes from throwing, aggressive throwing and aggressive hip action. They're not thinking rotation comes from that. You ever notice why athletes get stuck on giants? They struggle with giants. You ever notice why athletes get scared of layout flyaways? Hip action. They don't understand it. Started with back handsprings. And then you just built yourself into a problem that you don't know how to get out of. And that's it. That's the reason why you teach hip action. Hip action is everything in the sport of gymnastics. I think hip action is more important than a handstand. I do. And we'll save that for another time. Have a great day. Be blessed. Bye.